Welcome. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting tonight. At this time, I'd like to call on Mr. Hargrove to give a prayer.
Let us pray. Gracious God, our Lord and our Savior, we come tonight, first of all, giving you thanks for all that you have done, all those things that have transpired for the past week up to this present time, and all the things that you're about to do in the future. Thank you for allowing Mecklenburg County to be prosperous. Thank you for allowing the boards of members of this board and instill us with wisdom and good stewardship, Jesus Christ, that we may do according to your will that has been purposed in all of our lives. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we're having a public hearing tonight, and I would like to open that public hearing. There's some reminders I'd like to bring to your attention. This is a public hearing where we will not have any dialogue with the people that would like to speak. It is strictly our chance to hear your concerns throughout the county. You've got 3 minutes to speak, and I think Mr. Gottschall will be keeping the time over there. That being said, I will open the public hearing for the first person on the list that would like to speak.
If they would just state your name.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Tammy Taylor, and I am the clerk of the Mecklenburg County General District Court.
And I'm Charlene Williamson, clerk of the Mecklenburg County Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court.
We are here to ask for an amendment to our individual court budgets in the amount of $9,000 each to support a salary supplement for 3 employees in each office with 5+ years of service. 5 of these 6 employees were either born in Mecklenburg County or have lived here for many years, raising our children and working within the county. These 6 employees have a combined 113 years of court experience. With this experience, we are an invaluable resource to court users. We believe a targeted supplement will reward our long-serving employees and be crucial for employee retention. Reality is that we now live in a county that has more employment options, many at higher salaries than our public service positions. Our court has experienced turnover in the last 4 years due to the availability of higher paying positions. During COVID, our doors never closed. We remained open to ensure the citizens of Mecklenburg County had access to justice. Even though we are a state agency, we work alongside our county offices in public service to Mecklenburg County residents.
We often assist our county residents during the most vulnerable points in their lives. Collectively, we assist families who have custody issues, assist victims of domestic violence, and children who have suffered abuse. There are victims of many other types of crimes, citizens that request protective orders, citizens who need assistance with civil suits, citizens who suffer from mental illnesses that necessitate the court's involvement. These sensitive and emotional issues benefit from a seasoned staff equipped and trained to handle these delicate situations. Mecklenburg County is unique to many other counties in the state as we have 6 towns. We manage the skill set required is more advanced than other clerks as we must code these cases correctly. We manage court schedules for all 6 agencies, plus the Sheriff's Office, State Police, the Department of Conservation and Recreation. We also manage large dockets for citizen complaints and help each party navigate this process. This is not a novel approach. Many counties and cities in the state supplement clerks and deputy clerk salaries in the district courts, and the number is only growing. The court system here is an extension of Mecklenburg County, and we provide valuable services to our county residents. We want to thank our judges who are here tonight in support of our request and the dedicated staff that are present. And we want to say thank you to the members of the board for allowing us the opportunity to come before you to speak with our request.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the list.
Hi, my name is Juanita Wright. I'm up here to speak on behalf of citizens as far as the proposed tax increases. The tax increases, I believe, are going anywhere from 11% on up to over 118.52% that I know of. While I realize that an increase is required in order to work for the government and to provide all the necessary things that it needs, the amount is detrimental to the economics of the citizens in this area. While we do have Microsoft here, a good portion of the people who work at Microsoft do not own property, and they're not the ones that are paying the taxes. I'd like to know what the money is being used for, as well as how the numbers were determined. Basic economics would say that if you do not go up on the taxes and do not go up on the cost of basic living, that people spend more, which means that the government gets more. And that seems to make more sense to me. Also, I'd like to point out that a good portion of the people that live here are on Social Security, disability, and you have quite a few that are single parents, some of which don't have a second person to assist. And this causes a lot of risk for them as far as their homes and their family property that they've had. And it puts them at risk for losing things, which could cause an increase in issues with physical, mental, and emotional health for both citizens that are adults and children. In addition, I'd like to point out that the town's people who are paying taxes are paying double because they pay both town as well as the county. And like I said, the basic cost of living for them is already at an extreme high because of the way that gas prices and cost of food is. And people are barely getting by as it is without having such enormous amounts of tax imposed on their homes. And I'd like to request that the numbers be changed. Like I said, I don't think anybody has an issue with them going up, but the percentage that they're going up is just detrimental to a lot of people. Thank you.
Ruby Douglas.
My name is Ruby Douglas. I live in the town of Chase City. First of all, I am a widow. So all my expenses are paid by me alone. I am a senior citizen, of course you see that. And living on one income is hard. Like the other lady said, we have to pay town taxes and we have to pay county taxes. Now, with the little bit of money that we get, we have to spread it out and make it supply all our needs. And this is hard. Like she said, the gas is going back up again. Other things are going up. We are trying to survive. And it's hard because it seems like the senior citizens don't get a break. We're the ones who need to be looked after. We've been working hard all our lives, and now we're trying to make it off Social Security, and it's not enough. It's not enough. We still have to pay taxes, and some of us even owe taxes. And when I first started work, I didn't think that I would have to pay taxes once I was a senior citizen and was living off Social Security, but I was mistaken. And senior citizens have to do everything that the normal person has to do. And it looks like nobody's looking out for us. Now, they are sending all this money over to Ukraine and all these other places trying to help them. And I'm not against us now. They need help. But we need help too. So if somebody would look at us and our needs and try to look after the things that benefit us, I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Charles.
Jack.
Give me your last name.
Then I'm not signing this, you can read it. Jack. Mr. Chairman, board member, how y'all doing? My name's Charles Jackson. I live on Scotts Crossroad in Shea City. I didn't write anything down, but this lady made a good point about she knows taxes got to go up, or she thinks they should go up to take care of things. I'm the opposite. I think taxes ought to go down. I think expenses ought to be cut. Things ought to be done to cut expenses and not raise taxes. We got enough taxes as is. Mine went from, or proposed, I know this is proposed, but when you propose something, it's pretty much done. Mine went from 327,700 to 443,000 proposed. Now, it ain't that I ain't got it, but I don't want to give it because I don't think it's fair. So I just don't think that the taxes need to go up, the property taxes. I know y'all got expenses and stuff, but I think you could find some savings more than raising people's taxes. And I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lee Brinkley.
Good evening. My concern is what they just brought up mostly. The other concern was, why should our taxes go up at all? We've got Microsoft, you got solar panels sitting out there, solar farms that should be generating big bucks for the county, whether they are or not. All I would like is an answer, why is our taxes going up? Not just, I know mine went up. This lady said something about 118%. I got a piece of property went up 107%. Why? Because the house is about to fall in. So it went up 107%. And taxes going up, that's a way of life. But this type of increase, and really there's no reason for the individual that's a native of Mecklenburg County to ever have to pay a tax again with all the industry we have in this county right now, all over the county. And I appreciate your time and trouble. And I would like an explanation one way or the other, whether I get it or not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah. When they got up,
I thought you were in front of me.
no, I'm behind you.
Good evening, members.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairman, glad to be here tonight. I want to say first, I was at the meeting the other day when y'all were talking about schools and that you had the money to finish Clarksville and all that. And I was very proud that we were in that type of situation. But I got my tax increase letter this week. Mine is not all that bad. Not nearly like two of my neighbors. But my concern is that, like the lady was saying, the people that are on Social Security, on a fixed income, have no other way to have money to pay taxes with. They're in danger of losing their homes, okay? I don't know how long it is that you can miss paying them, but I think it's addressed pretty quickly now, okay? And I would hate to see anybody lose their home over that. I'm glad. I think y'all are doing a good job, but I really think you need to maybe look at this, tone it down a little bit. And like Lee said, with all the industry and all that kind of stuff that we've got coming in now, I would hope that's going to generate some more tax revenue countywide for us. So just take a look at it and give us some help if you can, and we would appreciate it. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
I figured I'd just offer you the arm of the young lady who walks in chair.
That's all. Anyone else would like to speak during the public hearing process? Yeah, the sun's got me right here. Hearing none, we will now close the public hearing. It's the front one right there, Alex, that's got me. I don't think you can change that one. The top one?
Over the door.
It's the one over the door, I think, that's getting it.
No, you. Yeah, over the door. That's all right. It'll be down. It'll be down in. Yeah, in 10 minutes, it'll be gone. So it'll be gone.
It's the spotlight, that's all it is.
We're now going to go into, Alex, I think, discussion of the 2024, 2025 budget.
So I just have one item to announce here tonight before we open the floor for any board comments. And that is tomorrow, the Virginia Department of Education will be meeting for their business meeting. And item X on their agenda will be the award of school construction assistance program funding. And I'm pleased to report that Clarksville Elementary School will be on that list. So should the Board of Education affirmatively vote with the recommendations presented to them by the Virginia Department of Education, this county will receive $6.5 million of Commonwealth funds for Clarksville Elementary School.
Okay.
So we will have a budget amendment that will recognize those funds and move the funds that we were programming for Clarksville over to Chase City, which will help fully fund Chase City Elementary School project.
Okay, very good. Any members have anything they'd like to say? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. I'll give the public about 5 to 6 or 7 minutes to leave, and then we'll go into closed session. Back in open session now. I'd like to have a motion to certification.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Motion, wait a minute, we didn't vote on going back in open session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion for certification, all in favor say aye.
Who made the motion to certify? I missed that. Oh, okay.
So we're back in open session. Alex, the next thing I want to bring up, and gosh, I don't want you to think we beat you up. I mean, this, you know, probably local governments, when disagreements come in the budget process, which is normal, for sure. And in my years here, it hadn't been many, but there's been some. I just can't get my arms around a compensation study when we had one 18 months ago. And if you look back into August or September of 2022, the YouTube video, there's a presentation by that company. And by the way, what did we pay that company? I know
We paid that company, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was in the 35 to 40 range.
Okay. So anyway, that company gave a presentation, which everybody sitting at this table, you can watch the video, thought it was outstanding. Everybody here. We followed the instructions. I think they had 3 plans, and we took the high middle plan, which added about $240,000 to the budget, which wasn't done during the budget process. It was done in December of 2022. Y'all can look back and verify everything I'm telling you. And it added to the total budget about $480,000. That was salary increases. That was 18 months ago. We've had several salary increases, which all our employees needed, well deserved. We're getting the 4% this year. The state's recommending what, a 3? Three. So we give them an extra percent. We giving them another $1,000 bonus half a year and a $1,000 bonus in December on the other second half of the year. I think we're being pretty lucrative. I don't want to downplay that they deserve it, because they do. They work hard. We've got a great county, and behind that great county is great personnel. But that being said, the biggest deal is it was done 18 months ago. I don't think we need one now, and I can't support a budget with it in it. It's just spending money unnecessarily.
So what's that good beneficial recommended time that we can do a other compensation study?
You know, and I've talked to Alex about this. We've got new members on the board. And I think if you started some counties don't even do it. I did do that. Some counties have never had one, never done one. Some counties do it every 10 years. I think it would be pretty liberal and pretty progressive if you did one on a 4-year cycle. If you started this process in the summer of 2026 to be voted on for the budget of 27, 28, and did it again that next year 4-year cycle.
It was a long time ago that we did one before that one, wasn't it?
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. And I think if we got it within a 4-year thing, I think that would be a far better than we usually do.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah.
like I say, 18 months is.
I'm not against it. I'm just against it considering we just had one.
So, do you want to weigh in on the certain positions?
That's what I was sitting here thinking. I don't know if you want to do it now. That is fine, but I will say this: we have certain positions that we have got to look at.
Well, can't you do that? Can't we do that in-house?
Can we? Yes. There's definitely implications of when you make one adjustment, what the potential ripple effect of all that might be.
Well, that happened.
Can we evaluate
That
Of
happened
course
with the
we
last
can.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you look,
yeah, yeah. We
I
can.
mean, we never got anything but the numbers. But if you look at the numbers, I mean, and I don't know how they rated it or anything like that, but I mean, A compensation study can be a public relations nightmare within personnel. People talk.
No matter what you do, that is a valid, in the respect
Yeah,
of.
and
paying
I'm
people,
not,
that is a valid
I'm not
comment.
against it because of those reasons. It's just an evil that comes with it.
You know, at work, you would, you run into the same thing. You handled it within. If somebody needed something else. And the first thing you tell them is,
Don't say
that's between you and us, me. And that lasts to the first rainy day. And when they got in the break room and everybody knows. So it's going to happen anywhere you go, I think. I mean, that's just the nature of the
There are
beast.
certain positions we got. There's just no way around it.
But consider, what did they miss on the first study then, Judy?
Well, I think what they missed were, and probably that was our fault too, is that they did the communities of the counties around us, and we no longer can compare to them. Does that make sense? You can't compare us to a Lunenburg. You can't compare us to a Brunswick County anymore. Halifax County, they need to move up. And we gave them every county around. You can compare us a touch to Dinwiddie, but not really anymore.
Why didn't they recognize that?
Well, that was probably our fault too.
They went down the path
Not
that we, the
about,
road they
yeah.
put them.
You pay them $40,000, you expect that to me.
Yeah, it'd probably be 100,000 there, wouldn't it?
And honest.
It depends on
yeah.
how extensive you want the survey, but which we would, based on our experience there, would ask for more things.
But the
Yeah.
presentation, if you go back and look at it, and I'm sure some of you will, but they did a really good job, I thought, in interviewing employees and trying to assess and putting titles on different positions that never had those titles before and that kind of thing. It's not perfect, for sure,
But if it's problems like that, y'all know it better than anybody.
Bring back some
I mean,
recommendations.
yeah, Alex, we talked about this tonight. I told him, I said, if I have to, I'll do it. I said, but I've got some positions that something's got to be done.
I think
There's no other way around it.
What's got to be done?
I think we
Bring them
trust
to the
them to do
personnel
that.
committee.
I don't want to do it, but if we have to next year, because I even asked Alex, I said, if we can approach y'all and you do it, he said, we'll be all right. We can
I'd
find
rather certainly see that happen than have another study. These studies.
Well, it would have to be done in committee, and y'all would have to approve, that type of thing.
But I think you get it together and bring it to committee personnel and
What do you think?
move forward.
Because it's something has got to be done.
It's always gonna have to be done. It's a problem.
It is.
And I don't know why, if we can't start looking at stuff like compression sheets. And I know you don't like that word, but it may solve a lot of these issues moving forward. Because there's no clarity. We're just throwing darts at a wall.
Yeah, but when I've learned this little short time that I've been, a lot of time departments create their own compression.
Well,
And so, it's going, even if you throw $100,000 difference, within 2 years, you have a means of compression. Now, what guidelines can you go by? One of the things that I've asked some time ago, when you and I was getting around, and I asked, do y'all interview your employees as to who gets what percentage or what? But no, that we get everything across the board. Well, you got some that don't do as well as others that get the same kind of raise. And so then when they begin to get promotion, especially those that are moving faster than others, then you create a compression.
Yeah, but the problem is that once you say I'm not doing as good a job, they think they are doing as good a job.
But they're different. That's where the problem comes in.
Yes.
But they're getting, and so this is where the compression comes from. So it don't matter how much money you throw in, you're going to have compression.
And another thing is, I don't know if I told you or not, I've told this to some of our department heads, you're never not going to have it because the world is changing so fast. Our starting salary today compared to 10 years ago, think about that.
It's double, bro.
Yeah. Our starting salary, so it's so hard to ever catch up. So you're always going to have a certain amount of compression. There's no way around it. Just because someone that's been here 10 years, I'm just going to throw it out there, $40,000. Well, they've been here 10 years, they're making $40,000. Our starting salary today is over $35,000. So, that's when you're hitting the compression,
And that's everywhere. That's everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not a unique problem in Mecklenburg. Everywhere you go,
Right.
people are talking about that, because you're giving bonuses, sign-on bonuses and whatnot. And then your senior staff are going, well, what about us?
Yeah,
I've-
you're exactly right.
I've given you 10 years. What about me?
So why are they, that's what I'm saying, why is it not?
So will it, is it a deal breaker if we wait to the summer of 26, 2 years?
I think it's gonna be too long if we don't do, I mean, something's gonna have to be done. Cause see, it takes them so long.
What they do, I mean, can we do it internally? Where the real problems are, and then start the compensation study in 26?
We can certainly make adjustments in-house. There's no problem with that.
And that goes through personnel or not?
The magnitude, depending on the level of positional change and the widespread nature of it will dictate that. I would imagine that we will anyway, just because of.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the spot on that right there. Either it does or it doesn't. I don't know that,
Who
I
you wanna
guess
share
y'all
blame
can
with?
assess what does need to go and what doesn't need to go through personnel.
The way the changes that were enacted by the board last year are make it so that director level positions and higher,
Yeah.
Go through the personnel committee.
Well, can't y'all handle everything under that?
We can't handle everything under that. What's going to happen is some of the changes when you make the ripple effect is they're probably going to make it so that certain employees make more than directors in other departments. And so then you have to
That's a
look at
problem.
those.
Yeah, there's a
Then-
problem. Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yes.
I can promise you, that's a
Yeah.
problem.
Right. And so then we'll have those corresponding changes that we have to make. And then you're waiting between,
It's not a problem until the first breakthrough.
That's right.
That's right.
but we're happy to do that as long as you all are cognizant of that.
We did.
I mean, we're willing to do that.
Yeah.
No question about it. As long as, there's an awareness that there might be some positions going to have real substantial adjustments in terms of the dollar amounts. And B, there's going to be, some of those cascading effects.
Don't you think y'all got the finger on the pulse on that more so than we hiring a firm and they doing it? Don't y'all know where it's at?
I am confident that we are aware of the issues. I am confident that we can identify to a certain extent what other places are paying. I am not as confident that we can weigh the comparison between jobs across different areas in the organization and measure how this one needs a 4% adjustment and that one needs a 7% adjustment, for instance.
Looks more buddy versus.
Well, I'm sure everybody else probably the same way, but I trust that y'all have the judgment to decide when you know when to do it and when you don't know when to do it.
Absolutely. I agree.
Is there any legal repercussions to doing that?
Okay.
And I think if you
Would that
educate the
would that
board,
help fix things?
It would help. It would make.
Don't
I
y'all
would
think
feel
that's
better.
a
I would feel
easier
better
way?
about it if I know y'all, I have y'all's support.
well, and that's what she
Well, I'm
needs to
gonna be-
educate us so
Yeah.
we can, when the person skips over them and calls us and go, well, why did David get a 10% raise and I didn't get but a 2% raise?
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, you can, if y'all got something that you don't feel real comfortable with, I would certainly recommend that you probably have a personnel committee meeting in closed session and say, this is what we got going on.
If it's big changes, I would prefer that, and I'm sure Alex
Yeah,
would too.
yeah.
Yeah, we're talking across.
They want to share the love.
Yeah.
Does
Well,
that
I
bring
guess
some resolve on this issue?
Y'all get phone calls, and you'll need to know what's going on and stuff like that.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Okay.
If you instruct us to do it, we will do it, and we'll cut
And-
that.
But it's
stuff.
not gonna be widespread. You're just gonna hit the problem spots, right?
The ones that we know are problems till we fix these, and then new problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, compression probably creates other compression.
Absolutely.
It will, that's right.
Always.
But again, we will make targeted adjustments, and then we'll find out, and then next year we'll make other targeted adjustments, and
Okay.
we'll continue to go down that path.
And
I'm good.
please give some input, y'all.
I
Dennis,
certainly
Kirk?
trust them.
So these things are feasible if they.
Tell it how you
if
feel.
these have the accruals. I assume they have the money.
I'd like for them to do what you just described. I'd like to have it done in-house.
Okay.
The only question that I would raise then at this point is whatever we determine to be done, is that going to be done this year, or are we going to provide recommendations to be added to the budget for next year? And by this year, I mean FY '25, and then next year, I mean FY '26.
Yeah,
What do you recommend?
I would recommend, well, some things we probably are gonna have to do right away just because of the need to hire.
Right
You
now.
know, we do have some vacancies that we're not getting applications for, so we do have to look at one category of positions specifically. The bulk of it, what I would recommend is that the finance be put into the FY '26 budget.
Okay, next year.
Bring it to us.
All right. And then we're gonna do a study in 26 too? Or you gonna handle, will in-house take care of what y'all do?
I guess it depends on how much sticker shock we give y'all. You may.
You might think the study's cheaper.
I don't think we have to determine that.
I should was 480,000 last time. How much is it gonna be this time?
So we will mark that out for now and then make that determination down the road. Maybe next, what do we need to?
Is that good with you?
Yes, that works.
It is gonna be something we will have to adjust this year.
Judy, you
I'm
good?
happy with that.
All right,
Okay.
next.
Moving right along. Lisa?
I'll say Ms. Lundy already got a
Then-
bag.
then then we got the, then we got the topic that's gonna take so long.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. That's gonna be the last thing.
Gotta have another snack. They ain't feed us tonight, so I gotta send you a snack.
Smoother than I thought. Took a while.
In a sandwich shop, I run into a sandwich.
Nobody got all that pissed off.
The streets are going to be rolled up by the time we leave.
Who said streets be rolled up?
So I need to click.
You would.
Those felt- that was felt-
You know it's coming.
I couldn't get my camera. I know.
On the website.
But that's what I'm saying.
All right, Lisa.
I was just worried what you give up.
You cut off something.
We should be paying $10,000 more than the rest of this. And we're
There
not.
you go.
Oh, maybe you don't have, it's just a PDF.
It's
so
the
you print it out.
exact
Sorry.
I'm sure we got a lot,
So you
lot
don't need
of,
to-
I'm sure we got a lot of questions, Lisa, so I hope it's not too long a
No,
presentation.
this is gonna be short and sweet.
Okay, all
To the
right,
point.
very good.
All right, of course, as everyone knows, Article, Constitution of Virginia, Article 10, Section 2, and Code of Virginia 58.1, 3201, we have to assess at fair market value. Is standard procedure to determine fair market value based on current sales data. And we reassess every 2 years, of course, because the Board of Supervisors adopt an ordinance. And we began on July 1 of 2006. The assessment for this year, the 2024 reassessment will take effect July 1st, 2024. The sales that was used for the basis of this assessment took place January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2023. The assessed values will remain in effect for 2 years unless there are some improvements made to the property. Then, of course, they would increase at that point. But other than that, those values will remain for 2 years. New assessment will not be reflected until the December 5th, 2024 billing. So the bills that are coming out in June, the new assessment will not be on there. This here are the number of sales per class code, arm's length transaction per each class code. Class code 1 is suburban, urban. Class 3 is multifamily. Class 4 is commercial. 5 is 20 to 99.9 acres, and class 6 is 100 acres plus.
So out of those, we had 1,104 sales, arm's length transactions.
So 5 is what now?
5 is 20 to 99.9
Okay.
acres,
And 6 is anything over 100?
100 plus.
Okay.
And those are the number of sales per class code that we.
And that was
looked
just for that little 2-year time frame, correct?
in that 2-year time frame, yes.
Right.
22 to 23. Yep. This here, vacant land changes compared to 2022. Your class 2 suburban up, which is up to 20, anything up to 20 acres, that increased right at 33%. Class 5 agriculture 20 to 99.9. You're looking at about 11% increase. In your class 6, 100 plus, about 9%. So the overall increase was at 11% countywide. Boggs Island Lake, those properties ranged anywhere from 40 to 350 in 2022. We did see a little bit of decrease in those, 30 to 330,000. And Lake Gaston, 40 to 350, now 88 to 320, just depending on where it's located on the water. Your percentage of change by class code, here again, this breaks down the towns. Overall saw 27%. Your class 2 properties, which is up to 20 acres, single family residential properties, at 21%. Your multifamily properties, about 13%. Commercial properties, they're leveled out because of the depreciation on commercial properties. So they remained. And then your class 5 properties, about a 14% increase, and your class 6, 16%. So there again, your overall is at 11% countywide. And this next one will show you the percentages of change. Go to the next, sorry. This is the percentage of change by district town code. And you can see over there to the right, all the percentages that increased. Chase City, town of Chase City was the largest at 39% increase.
Does sales drive that?
Yes, all this is sales, for those 2 years worth of sales data. This one will show you, the next one is going to show you the parcel count by percentage of change. So this will show you any properties that increased that are greater than 100% was about 1,408 of those properties. And keep in mind that a lot of these, some of these are due to new construction or improvements that have been made, not strictly just because of the reassessment and sales data. You know, so your new homes that were built are falling in this category because it just had a land value. Now they have improvement values to it. So you're going to see a lot of these categories is because of new construction or improvements to property. And then the rest is going to be based on the 2 years of sales that have taken place. And that, I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. I'll take any questions. Of course, we're holding hearings beginning May 14th through June the 13th. We hold those on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And the numbers there, you can call anytime, Monday through Friday, and schedule an appeal. Oh, yeah. So the notice that went out by law, by law, we have to publish the 22-23 assessment, the 23-24 assessment, and the proposed assessment. And we have to break down the percentage of increase from the proposed to the prior 2 years. So, and also by law, we have to publish the tax rate as it is right now. So a lot of the notices that are going out is showing the 40-cent tax rate.
Yeah, that's where people get sideways.
Yeah. And by law, if the rate has not been set, we have to publish the rate as it is right now.
I got you.
But on the notice, and I don't know, down in the notice, we have to advertise the public hearing also. And in that advertisement, we advertised a proposed rate of 37 cents.
Okay.
So it's on the notice.
Have you got, I know you said it averaged 11% increase, right?
Mhm.
Have you got the
Overall.
breakdown of how much property went up? None. And how much went up? 25%,
Yeah, this-
50%?
Yeah, this right here,
100%? Okay.
yeah,
I cannot see these very well on this angle right here, so,
okay, yeah, those right there, and we can get you a copy
okay.
of this. We can email a copy to everyone. But yeah, this right here tell you what, the number of parcels that increased from 1% up to 100%, and the number that was less than 1%, no change.
So these people that come in here tonight, some of them talking about a 75 to 111% increase. They would have had to had improvements on that to get that, or would that possible their property could have went up that much?
It could have went up that much. Based on the sales building rates, our building rates increased about 20%.
So like, when
And, well, I'm sorry, but 20%, and then the on your double wide homes and your single wide homes that are out here, not being taxed as personal property, but the single wides that are being taxed as real estate, per Marshall and Swift, they now are on the same depreciation schedule as a single family home, a stick built full modular type home.
Okay.
So
And
that's a lot of the increase there.
And like when, say, Microsoft is buying the land at the price they are giving for it, do those sales have a effect on this too?
No, that is strictly commercial industrial property. And-
Solar, same way. Solar property, the same way.
Yep, same way, commercial industrial.
Okay.
And that rate is right at $10,000 an acre now.
Yeah.
So no, it does not affect the class of residential property. It's a separate class altogether.
Okay. So did the real estate on any of the data centers go up?
They are, well, the land itself, the $10,000
land
cost per
itself.
acre? No, because that's the average rate.
Because
That's what's being,
Okay, I got you.
yeah,
I can understand.
yeah.
To give people information, Alex may know this right here, but Loudoun County just sold 110 acres for $3.6 million an acre. It was the largest land sale ever in Virginia to Microsoft.
Right, they did.
I guess you knew that.
And that's one reason they're so willing to fund
3.6 million an
infrastructure
acre.
improvements
Per
here.
acre. It's almost for one.
You get lower
Cheaper.
land costs and pay for the infrastructure
One
versus
owner.
paying for the land.
Right.
One owner.
Now, I know, over in Clarksville, well, it used to be EDS. I'm not sure the data center there.
Yeah, that one sold. a
They
lot,
just
too.
bought some land adjoining them.
Yep.
Up in the hundreds of thousands per acre.
What was that?
And when you have that,
EDS. in Clarksville.
yeah, EDS, the data center over
What are
in
you talking
Clarksville,
about?
well, Russell
Well, no,
Stover's, the
that-
old Russell
that was-
Stover's building. Yeah.
So theirs didn't go up because they actually have the highest price that they paid for land in the county.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
Well, all
the
industrial,
data
all
centers-
industrial
well,
property is at that rate.
That makes sense.
$10,000
That
an
makes
acre.
sense. But that's very explainable, so.
Is there a way that we can share, and I don't say this information too with the public, but also I think
Susan.
there's an education piece. I know she will do it too, definitely. But I know too, just whether we put it on the website or something, just something to explain why everything was changing. Because
Yeah,
because
it's all public information.
yeah, I know what some of the houses have sold for in areas, and you know, when you're getting a house that's appraised at 53,000 by the county and is selling for 155, you know, that's what's driving these types of numbers.
These
to-
increases, yeah.
And a lot of these people that come in here tonight, some of them, whether you put it on the website or not, I don't know if
Right.
they really get it. You know, will have access to it. You know what I'm saying?
And I know they can call Lisa's office and she'll
Yes.
explain it to them. And,
Mhm.
you know, it's just.
Yes, I think we mailed the notices out last Wednesday, and I think so far we've got 65 scheduled appeals.
Okay.
Out of 33,000 parcels.
That's appeals with your office.
That's just with our
Yeah,
office,
And then
yes.
they go through that process until the Board of Equalization is several steps.
Right.
Yeah, well, they'll do the informal appeals with us, and then after July 1, then the board sets, and then they'll appeal to the
But
board.
thank you for this. It was.
Yeah, thank you
And
for
we'll,
coming tonight too, kind of on a short notice, so I appreciate it.
That's fine, and we'll get it all emailed to you.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have anything else?
Yeah,
Let me know.
we'll post this presentation and everything. No problem.
Okay, very good. Anybody else have anything on that?
I would just agree with David that, some of the citizens are not gonna understand it.
No.
Unless somebody explains it, breaks it down. for them.
I wish there was some kind of way you could almost put it in the paper where you could break it down, because there's a huge void. And they would kind of seem like taking it personal with us, like we raise taxes.
Yeah.
This is completely out of our hands, and that's just what it is.
And it's happening everywhere. It's happening.
And I know y'all have gotten calls. I've gotten plenty of them. They're not real happy right now.
No, they're not happy.
And we
they
didn't
go
do
up
anything.
40%. The value
And-
goes up 40%.
Imagine
You're
if you
unhappy
did it
about
every 6 years versus every 2 years.
Oh, yeah, that would be a sticker shock.
It'd be
That's what
300%.
Brunswick's
Oh,
doing
God,
with
yeah.
now.
Yeah, you,
There,
yeah,
just out of
be
curiosity,
a problem.
would there be any value towards doing it annually versus every 2 years?
So in other words,
We're struggling to get it done too.
instead of getting
But,
custodied every 2 years, we get custodied every year.
Would that cause some percentages?
I mean, I
That
think
would
it
help.
would, because
Be a lot to do.
22 to 23, the way the market was going, you probably seen a difference, probably 15 to 20% difference in just 1 year. in
Is
what
it all
properties are like.
computer generated based on sales around the property?
Well, it's in mass. Now, we have to look at every sale. We determine the cost per acreage. We determine the cost per square foot based on it. I mean, we have to
But
determine.
y'all don't physically go out and value property like we used to back in the day, right?
No, it's no way we.
Yeah, no, no.
We're
I mean,
constantly out there because of building.
I just
permits,
want
all that.
people to understand how it's done. Well, how do you do it? I said, well, I'm pretty sure it's computer generated, based on sales and
We do the study and we
that kind of thing.
build in the actual rates. We do all that. We do have the latest aerial photography so we can see things on the aerial views. If there's any questions that come up, I do send my field tech out there. I got 4 or 5. I've sent them out there today to look at because I had
well,
questions.
10 years ago, it was unheard of to have $1 million piece of property in Mecklenburg County, and now it's just multiple sale
Well, now
after
you've got
multiple sale.
people paying cash, $1 million in
And
cash for property.
And I tell people that there's hundreds, literally, of people out here that can afford and will buy a $500,000 piece of property. Literally hundreds.
Yes. I mean, just look at the building that's going on now.
Yeah.
I mean, with the interest rate.
And the
And the
sad
still-
thing about
People,
it,
they don't
we got
care.
another group of people
I don't
that
say they
can't
don't
hardly
care, but it
afford
doesn't
anything.
bother them.
That's the sad thing.
And I think I averaged it out, the last building permits that were in there for the 11 houses averaged out to like 350,000.
Yeah.
Was the average.
I mean,
Is it
you
average?
put,
Oh, yeah.
you put 30, 40 acres of land out here and slap $250,000 on it.
Gone.
You're gonna have a contract on it in a
Mhm.
week,
Or less.
34 acres.
probably,
Guy sold 20 for 500.
depending on where it's at.
Yeah.
Depending on where
In
it's
that
at.
rich section that we Andy.
I saw somebody tell me something how poor as I could be.
And of course, as a market, it just depends on what the market, it's all based on the market. So if in the next 2 years, if the market declines, then the assessments will decline.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
you're
you very
Doing this.
much.
So moving right along again. The only thing else I have is the tax rates. We need to talk about the tax rates. I know you talked about coming from 336 on personal property to 334.
Yes.
Am I correct on
Yes,
that?
that's
Coming from 40 to 337.
The 30.
37.
I mean-
Yes,
37.
yes.
Excuse me. Is there any way we could take the personal property from 332 and the real estate to 36?
Yes.
That was good.
You just earned your salary right there.
Hey, you through with that?
How about 35?
welcome.
34. That's not a lot of money on the real estate, to be honest with you, per parcel and all that kind of thing. But, considering how good Mecklenburg County is doing, I think it's a psychological effect that it would send through Athey County, to be honest with you. So we're very fortunate here. And I know.
I'm chomping at the bit because
you're
I'm
a personal property guy, and I realize that. I completely get it. But, and we can, I threw numbers out there. Y'all start talking about it. That's all I think.
And I'll say the only thing I sent this to Jim. I think by Lisa's number she sent me, you said 1 cent was 23,000 I'm gonna say 500, is 1 cent of personal property. And my discussion with Jim was, who are we trying to help the most with a tax cut? Because in my opinion, if you're saying 1 cent of of real estate is $800,000, I think I'm pretty close on that. If you divide that out, and I don't have a calculator in front of me, I think that's like 33 cents of personal property tax. And the way I'm looking at it is, every single person that owns a car, motorcycle, or anything that's covered under the personal property tax rate lives in Mecklenburg County. Not everybody that owns real estate lives in Mecklenburg County. So in my opinion, if we're looking to put money back in everybody's pocket, personal property is maybe the way to do that. Now, yes, it won't look as big if the man may go on his car from, paying $20, paying $15. It's not going to look as big, but I'm thinking about the person out here that's renting a house, that's struggling to pay the rent. If we drop the real estate tax 1 more cent, it's not going to help them. But if we drop the personal property tax, it's going to help them. And that was my only thing with it, of if we're going to take money and invest it back to the people, how do we get the most bang for the most citizens? And if we were to take that 1 cent and convert it to property tax, or the $800,000 worth of 1 cent in the personal property tax, did you divide it out for me? I saw she was sitting there plugging away at it, but that was my only,
It's the low 30s. It's in the low 30s.
to be able to say that every single citizen benefited from a larger tax decrease. That was my only thing that, and I do think we need to do something for the citizens, and taking it to 37 cents, definitely does some also. But do we take the extra 1 cent and put it in personal property to give it to more people?
Well, and I agree with what you were saying there, but and two, I look at it too. These people like coming here tonight, and the house and went up 100%. They've gotten a right good hit on a home. That they didn't go around and reassess their personal property. That didn't go up, and they did on that home or something they're trying to hold on to and stuff. That like say could possibly lose their home or something. So,
I would like everybody's input on this. Starla.
I couldn't agree more. I like what Tom said. I mean, if you can do both ways, that's just the way to do it. I think it'd be a good gesture to everybody, and saying that, I don't care what we put in the paper, try to explain all this. In the end, some of them still think we're the bad guys. So I think this would be a good gesture, psychological, like you said, and we definitely should do it.
Ms. Black?
Personal property would be the way to go, I believe. Would affect more people.
So the same, personal property is definitely gonna help more people. But the biggest thing is, I think either way we go, we're definitely headed in the right direction on either one.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest take home message.
Ms. Lund?
Yes, I think I've said it before. Personal property, I think, is the best way to go to get all the citizens, give all of them a help.
I agree with everything Mr. Tanner said. Only thing I would add is that if we could drive it down anywhere else, we need to find it. Because like I said, people out here are suffering and hurting. Some folks might, risk of losing their homes and stuff. I heard your comment that the county's doing pretty well. So if we can put any money back in the pockets of the citizens, I say that's what we need to do, whether it's personal property or otherwise.
I'm probably in favor of both. Real estate and personal property.
What are the personal property rates surrounding us? You know,
I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't know either. I'm in favor of both, and Tom, I completely understand your argument. I really do. I think Dennis hit it like I hit it too, that the key is this county's doing good. We need to return some of it back. Everybody here had some really good points. Very highly credible points. And, David brought up about personal property didn't get reassessed, but real estate did.
Well, you got to look at personal property, especially vehicles got reassessed a couple of years ago during the COVID era. So they really haven't come back down to the original personal property.
Personal property?
Yes.
We're probably looking at probably about a 15% decrease in those values.
Okay.
In the values. So that's a little bit of tax savings without us even changing the rate, right?
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
And we do assess, it's a different way of assessing, but we do assess personal property every single year.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what about 330 and 36? How does that sit with everybody?
Well, I was even going to suggest split the difference between the two. Do a 0.5% on real estate. Take the other. We can't do half.
Don't do
Oh,
that.
come on!
Don't give us that
wanna
nightmare. No.
They used to say you couldn't do.
I was trying.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that to us.
I was trying. Hey.
Right.
I was
I
trying to
believe
get it.
D.D. Harris is negotiating this deal.
So if you had to say what you're looking for in real estate and what you're looking for in personal as being definitive,
That's the
what
point.
what are the numbers?
Oh, it's 22.
But I mean, it gives you an idea.
So, and I just divided it out. If you did the 800,000, which is the 1 cent of real estate, and divided by the 23,500, that would be a 34-cent reduction in personal property. I'm just educating.
Is all of this feasible?
All of what? I've heard a lot.
I tell you what, we're all pretty much in the same chapter within a couple of pages of each other, and I'd like to leave with a unanimous decision here, because that's kind of the way I like to have things. So I like everybody agreeing. So
I'd like to see us do both if we could.
and we'll take a vote. I'd like to see us do both. Andy,
Both.
I'm fine with that.
both.
We just figured it.
330 and 36. You're not like what is a penny? You said 23,000 dollars.
23,000 is.
That's a penny of the vehicle.
Vehicle.
Right.
That's 23.
Right.
Well, Alex, like I said, the county's doing pretty good. You to help Tom out here, probably could take that thing down to 325, couldn't we?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to tell us what we can afford.
I'm gonna be getting people rebate.
All right. Tell us. How about 350?
Well, 23.
Because
you went 5, 20, they about 100 grand. You're talking about 800 on the real estate.
Yeah, but you've set 36 now as the real estate, so that amount.
Since you won't let me do 0.5, I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean, we
trying.
could do 332, 330. We could certainly do either one of those.
Tom, 330 good with you?
I'm good with that.
36 good.
Yes.
Is everybody happy with that?
I think that'll do.
We got a 9-0 here. I hope.
Yep.
All right.
Jim, I got one thing. I
All right.
remember. Look, when we talk about the budget, I'm back on the board horse here again. We were talking about, I think it was, and I talked to Alex a little bit about this, and just make sure I clarify what I thought I said, but maybe I don't always do it good. Sometimes Andy was messing with me, I think. But anyway, we were talking about the 255,000. I thought, and I think the way it was put in the budget was 117,000 plus. The rest of it would have to be stipulations on some things they would do. But I didn't really mean for it to be stipulations on it. I think we kind of talked a little bit of possibly, I thought about, future thing. We would like to see a few things and maybe potentially partner with them on some stuff. But, when we do 117, I've made a few notes. Ms. Lundy, I'll have you over here in a few minutes. We get what it was put on there, 117,500. That was what given to them with those stipulations. But we turn around and give the Lake Gas and Weed Control 116,000. We're gonna give board 117. But like I say, we approved the whole amount. But I don't think it should be in the stipulations on that. And that's where I wanted. And the other thing I want to clarify too, this may not be just a one-time thing. And I just think going forward, not now, but I think we really need to take a look at what the property and stuff that we got in Borden and do a fair assessment of the value of it. And maybe they don't have to come and ask for money so much. Maybe we do that. I know that they pay for their water and they pay for this. We do. The county pay for the water. But so does every other resident in Borden does the same thing. And but they say they'll pay personal property and real estate tax. And I think it's something, the town of Borden is like 33 cents, But I think we need to do something with our big footprint in this town. We need to look at some way of getting Borden a little bit of a fast share. If we're talking about building a $30 million 911 center, I think, correct? Over here. Yeah. So, if anybody else built that in Mecklenburg County, that'd be over $100,000 worth of real estate taxes. And we're gonna build it in Borden, would get nothing off of it. And just like this piece of property right beside us, it just got. I assume we bought that. We bought that piece of property. Borden was probably getting taxes for that. Once we purchase it, they get no more taxes. It's zero. Every time we buy a piece of property on it, we take it off of there and put it on. They tax exempt. So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't know whether the rest of the board feels that way or what, but I wanted to bring it up before we okay this budget.
So you want us to get them the same amount every year that we?
No, I think
taxes on what we bought.
I think we need to give them the 200 and what they asked for this time. And then I think after going before another year, I think we need to assess the value of what we got in this town and come up with something fair that they should get every year, and stuff. It may be, 200,000 or it might be 220 as value goes up and stuff like that. But I think, I don't think Borden, the bigger footprint we got here, they need to come and kind of be begging for money, every year with the footprint we got in this town. And they ain't got a whole lot. And I try to think, well, we always used to say, check with some of the other surrounding areas and see what they do. I can't think of nowhere else that's got a little town that's impacted like this Mecklenburg County is in the Borden. If somebody knows one, I sure we need to check on it, but I just can't think of nobody, nowhere else.
Have we assumed the cost of sewage and water in Boynton area?
I mean,
For to restructuring sewage and water for the town of Boynton, whatever they need to be to fix.
Well, the water is the service authority. Is the supplier of the water.
And what about sewage?
Sewage, the town of Boynton is a sewer provider, a sewer system operator. We, like David said, we are a customer and we pay the bills on the usage of every one of our facilities. I would imagine we're probably I would guess, second or third biggest customer. But beyond that, if there was ever an alternative, the town of Boynton's not interested in, not providing the service. They want to provide the service, but the alternative to that would be to form a regional sewer authority similar to the water authority. Would be the other provider possibility. So I have no idea if that answered what you were trying to grasp or not, but if not, please re-ask and I will try better.
I think what he was asking was, do we we have helped the town of Boyden in sewer projects and stuff
Oh,
like
yes,
that.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Their wastewater treatment plant has been expanded.
Right,
Yes, that's
and it came to a cost to the county.
Yeah, we get, yes.
I was just asking.
Right.
Not that I
Right.
disagree. It's
Right.
just what I'm saying is
I think my request is could we give them the 255 or whatever that was figure without stipulations on it? And then we kind of, and if you going forward, we look at reevaluate this before another budget or something and see what's a fair way to do that.
How much did you have? What did you have in it? I forgot.
So in the past adopted budget, we provide them with 87,500. And we have steadily increased it every single year the last few years. The proposed amount was to increase that by 6,000, and then also to provide 24,000 one-time funds, and that was associated with the actual cost of closing the Heron River Regional Jail and paying them both for the ongoing amount, since we were party to that decision to close the facility, which reduced them a customer. And then make that one time was to make up for the last few years where it's been closed, where we didn't, give them an increase as a result of that. So that was what was in the recommended budget. Whatever the final amount that's determined, that's the decision of the board to do. Of course, then the question really is what amount? And then the second question is, what do you, if you give it, just let them do whatever they want with it. Or if you give it to them and tie it to specific projects that could, and there's two options there. One set of projects would be to help us as a customer, any projects that would directly serve our buildings and make it better so that we would get a return value for that. Or the second option is to help them do activities that would provide additional revenue generating possibilities. If you were to provide stipulations on it, rather than just, let them choose whatever they wanted, which they might fund improvements with it, or they might fund salary increases with it. I mean, if you give it unrestricted, then, it's their choice.
What do you want to do?
Well, I think I would like to see us be unrestricted this year. And like I say, then if we want to, we reassess this thing and then kind of look at, let's see what that figure would be. And then we can kind of go from there. Then if we need to put stuff, because it's not a whole lot of revenue coming in for the town of Boyden, period. And, I think, if they want to expand a quarter of a mile of sewer line or something costs them the same thing as a big town like South Hill. There's no cheaper or no more, and it just nothing there they got no money to expand.
Right. Yeah.
So how did you come up with the decision that I somehow or another distorted you in saying that we need to put a stipulation on?
I can't remember what you said that time.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask one more thing if I keep Ms. Lundy awake for 5 seconds?
I do want to refer you bring it up about the town events.
Well, no, what I was going to ask about, we had discussed in the last meeting about doing the tax rate for the volunteers. And I would like us to have some kind of consensus. If we want to do the 10 cent per 100, is that the way it's done on real estate? On personal property for the volunteer fire and rescue squads, that we just have a consensus. So when we come, we'll know what that'll be.
I'm good with that.
Is everybody
for sure?
Okay, because I think we've got to do what we can to support them because they're certainly taking a large burden off of us.
You want to bring up about the town events? I know we've taken a lot of time,
Yeah.
but the stuff that we can get hashed out tonight.
And I think
that next time we meet, we can just vote.
Yeah.
Vote.
Mr. Jones, I think before had brought up something about the like the events in Clarksville for the bands and stuff like that. And I think we had discussed about the possibility of doing it for the other towns to offer those types of events.
What kind of dollars are we looking at?
I think the one they did in Clarksville, they did $5,000.
So 5,000 was what was provided to CEDA.
But that's a pretty big event. I would think Clarksville and South Hill have the biggest events,
probably,
don't they? So do we need to prorate that down? a little bit? Oh, I don't know.
So
I'm
that's
just
up
asking a
to,
question.
I don't know what Chase City has or, any of those. I know Boyden has some events here.
Yeah.
Boyden, well, sometimes each of the towns request money. And first of all, some of these events are not provided by the towns.
Right.
They're provided by other groups that are affiliated with the
Exactly.
civic organizations.
So how do we need to handle that?
I think it's a matter of a decision. Do you want to provide all the towns with money for events, or do you want to allow the towns and the other entities to request what they would like to have
I think we
individually?
just
In some
request
places,
it,
because some places
allow
have
them to
different
request
priorities.
it. Yeah, I think that'll be
And then we
fine.
can pass it as those requests come in and you deny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, or we can do it as we've done, as we did last year with the CEDA one. Supervisor Jones requested that, and that was what was included in the budget. So that it could be handled through the member amendment process here, or it could be, we could put a larger sum in the tourism budget that it's then pulled from as the applications are submitted.
So do it on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
And I think we'll let them handle it.
Okay. So back to David's. What amount are we going to?
What, 255, 53, 255, something like that?
With no stipulations.
Right.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Oh, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with
Is
that.
that additional to what we already given them, or that's?
That would be the new
That'd be the new total.
Be the total, be the total. Total.
Okay.
And then we, like I say, we reevaluate it going forward on the best way to be fair.
Okay.
There's your
One
happy
last,
cyber.
one question
Almost
about Borden. Has Borden shown any interest in expanding town limits, or do they get any revenue off of Microsoft across the highway? Or
Well, when Microsoft over there was built, I think what the projected figures were that they would be getting when that was completed is about a third of what was projected. And then they also were getting a Dominion. It was some about the prison. It was like a 5 or 6 year. They were getting a certain amount of money off of it. I mean, it's like 200,000, but started 2 years ago, I think they started decreasing that by 50. So, that will be 50,000 less this coming year than it was this year. And then, like say, the bank leaving town was about 55,000 a year that they lost too, and along with the jail so yeah, it's not a whole lot. It's not coming what they were projected when it was, everybody sat down and said, looks like we're going to do this and looks like we're going to do this, but and that's again, it was projected, so it won't concrete, but that's what it was.
Very good. Anybody else have anything?
So I was gonna
Marcia?
share this with y'all. So I did talk to Tom last meeting about the volunteer special classification. So you guys are probably gonna get this tonight or in the morning, but I did do a recommendation. We've worked on a proposed ordinance for y'all to approve. So I'll read the recommendation that you're gonna get in your email. As discussed by the Board of Supervisors at the regularly scheduled March meeting, the following recommendation is that an ordinance be passed pursuant to Section 58.13506A15 of the Code of Virginia, in which a separate classification of personal property be hereby established for one motor vehicle of volunteer EMS personnel or volunteer fire department members, with a tax rate to be set by the Board of Supervisors annually for the benefit and appreciation of the service to the citizens of Mecklenburg County as the EMS or fire department volunteer. Each volunteer will be allowed to have one vehicle in this special classification. The vehicle must be registered in the name of the volunteer. The chief or the designated temporary official of each department will verify the qualifications of the volunteer and submit all applications to the Commissioner of the Revenue no later than July 31st of each year. The proposed ordinance will be attached to this for you to read over, and we're proposing that it be added in with the tax ordinance that you all will approve on May 13th.
Perfect. Okay, great, absolutely. Yep. Anybody else? Well, we have discussed a lot of issues, and we have gotten resolved on a lot of issues with everybody agreeing, and I am very happy with that.
We still friends.
Yeah, we still friends.
You might not have as many out here in the community, but you got some.
Somebody go check outside, see if
You
it's-
couldn't lower that rate no more than that, but anyway.
Just between the, doing that thing about it. Some request.
Let's let you go and start your conference here.
So anyway, not hearing anybody say anything else, we'll stand adjourned.
Amen.